about change and positive impacts to humanity. Let's give a virtual welcome to our president, Madam President Toyin. You may have the virtual space, Madam Toyin, our amiable president.
Well done, Joseph.
Thank you, VPROTS.
Toastmaster Josephine, you have done very well. You are most valuable. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests. May I please ask that we are muted right now? Thank you very kindly. It is hot day here in Lagos, Nigeria, and I am excited to be here at our first meeting after the inaugural meeting of Learntor Toastmasters Club. I am particularly excited at the membership and the people who have shown interest in becoming a Toastmaster. And I would just like to say something regarding growth. You know, when just some few days ago, we entered into the month of March. And when I checked online for March, all I kept seeing was flowers, pictures about flowers, spring. And I kept asking myself, what is the significance of spring at a time like this? What does it mean for us to spring? You know, spring is associated with growth, with new ideas, with innovation, with a blast of fresh air, flowers, bright colors. It's significant because it ushers in a season of vibrance. I am happy to tell you all today that it is no different at Learntor. We are in spring. We are blooming. We are growing. We are bursting with fresh ideas. This is a great time to be part of us. This is a great time to be in this space. I am very excited today because we are going to be learning the why. A saying goes thus: once the purpose of something is not known, abuse is inevitable, which is why we have a trainer who is going to speak about the why. Why Toastmasters and why public speaking? Why is it significant? I'm also excited at the role players because a lot of them will be having their first shot at playing roles. It is growth, it is spring, it is vibrance. I'm also excited about the speakers and what they will be bringing to the table. To cut the long story short, you are in for a time of your life. I want you to keep growing, keep embracing growth, embrace spring, embrace vibrance. You are welcome once again. Thank you very much. I would now like to call upon the general evaluator.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can hear you. Good afternoon.
Oh, okay. Good afternoon. It's my pride, privilege, and pleasure to serve as the general evaluator. The very first meeting after the inaugural meeting we've had for Learntor Toastmasters, and I'm glad that despite the fact that this is a baby club, we are smooth sailing. The job of the general evaluator is more or less like a coach. There's a saying that feedback is the breakfast of champions. And in order for us not to bask in mediocrity, we always need to set a standard here at Toastmasters. So at Toastmasters, we have a standard to do things the right way and to always surpass our standards. And that's why we have a general evaluator. And I won't be working all alone. I have a team of extraordinary gentlemen, as I often like to call them. And the very first of them is, a minute, please, the timer. Because you see, time management is life management. The way we manage our time often dictates how we manage our lives. And we have a timer who is going to be timing every part of the meeting to ensure that we're not wasting our time. And the timer is none other than Toastmaster Israel Ebenezer. He is an inventory and procurement manager, and he enjoys watching animations and reading manga. His primary focus for 2021 is to invest in himself. His favorite quote says, "Sin is sin you can live with." Ladies and gentlemen, with a warm and virtual round of applause, please make welcome Toastmaster Israel Ebenezer. Over to you, Toastmaster Israel.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmaster language.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much, the General Evaluator, for that introduction. So my role today as a timekeeper will be to ensure that we all stick to time. Like the General Evaluator said, time management is very important to life management. So I'll be sharing my screen with us. Oh, it seems I'll be able to share my screen.
No,
What I'll do,
no, just give me a sec. I'll give you the right to share. Just 1 second.
okay. Would I be able to do that now?
Mr. Israel, Ebenezer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. A co-host.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Probably loading.
Stop now. Allow. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen?
Sorry.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So for the prepared speech, we have 4 minutes. So when it's 3 minutes, would so the person the prepared speech, the speaker should please note the timer at all times. So when it's 3 minutes, I'll notify that 3 minutes has been used. When it's 3 minutes 30 seconds, I'll also notify that 3 minutes 30 seconds has been used. And when it's 4 minutes, you have 30 seconds to round up your speech. Then for the table topics session, we have for prepared speech, we have 7 minutes. Then for table topic session, we have 4 minutes. Sorry, please hold on. Okay, for the table topics, the prepared speech, we have 4 minutes. And then for I beg your pardon, everyone, please. For the prepared speech, we have just 4 minutes. When it's 3 minutes 30 seconds, I notify that the time is at 3 minutes 30 seconds. And when it's 4 minutes, I'll notify that you have 30 seconds to round up. For the table topic section, we have just 2 minutes. When 1 minute has been used, I'll notify that 1 minute has been used. And when it's 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll also notify that 1 minute 30 seconds has been used. And when it's 2 minutes, please, you have 30 seconds to round up your speech. I'll hand over back to the General Evaluator. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, that was fantastic, Toastmaster Israel. I want to believe this is your first time. So, okay, this is not your first time. Anyway, that was quite. You did it quite well. All right, let's move up to the next role player. The next role player is the grammarian.
Please, I dropped a message on the WhatsApp. Do you want to take a look?
Are you referring to me, Toastmaster Mercy?
Yes, you are our general evaluator.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear clearly. Okay, just a minute, please. All right. I just got an update. Due to time, we have some challenges. So I think at this point in time, we have to introduce the guest trainer so he can commence his training. So you just pardon me and give me this moment to introduce our guest trainer, trying to get his profile.
Mr. G.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Toastmaster Tosi.
Yes, I can hear you.
Good evening, this is Toastmaster Chidi. Since you already started with the introduction of your team, it would be wise to conclude on that introduction before the introduction of the guest speaker. Okay. Let's not leave it half and half. So you have two or three role players to go. Let's quickly conclude with the introduction of the role players, and then the guest speaker can come on.
Oh, okay. At Toastmasters, we have a Toastmaster of the day who is a pilot of the meeting, and by the power vested upon her, she's just giving me go ahead now to introduce the remaining role players. So let me quickly introduce the other role players, and then we move right to the guest speaker. All right, the next role player is the grammarian. And here at Toastmasters, we ensure that to communicate effectively, we need to speak proper grammar. And our grammarian for today's meeting is Toastmaster Opeyemi Taiwo. She is into logistics. She loves to play chess and to swim.
Hello, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters.
That's interesting.
Good afternoon.
Hello? Can I be heard?
All right,
yes,
all right.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Opeyemi is a guy. Okay, that's just on the lighter note. Okay, today I have the privilege of playing the role of the grammarian. As the grammarian, my role is in three parts. First, I'll be introducing the word of the day, which I'll do shortly. The secondly, I'll be watching out for a frequent use of that same word of the day. I'll also be watching out for grammar. And without further ado, our word for today is copious. I don't know if I'm permitted to share my screen, because I know when we see things, we learn them faster and easier, and we can retain them. So can I share my screen? I have a Google definition. Perhaps seeing it will help us retain it better. Or perhaps I can just move on with the definition, maybe just to save our time. Okay, I'll
share your screen.
Okay. Okay, I'm having difficulties doing that. I think I'll just go ahead with the definition. I'm having difficulties doing that. So our word for today is copious. Copious. Copious is spelled C-O-P-I-O-U-S. Copious. It would be nice if you could repeat the word after me. Everybody, copious. Kindly unmute. It's a way of learning the word. Seeing that we cannot see the word is a way to learn the word. Yes.
Copious.
Copious.
Eunice, fantastic. Eunice, one more time. Copious.
Copious.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for your kind cooperation. So the word means abundant in supply or quantity. Abundant in supply or quantity. It could also be plentiful in number. Synonyms include galore, lavish, profuse. To use it in a sentence, you could say the storm produced a copious amount of rain. Another example, she sat in the front row and took copious notes during the lecture. I'll take the example one last time. She sat in the front row and took copious notes during the lecture. And so that's our word of the day. It's my distinguished desire that we use this word, copious, as copiously as possible. I'll be watching out for the use of the word. And at the end of the meeting, with the permission of the general evaluator, I'll be back to give us feedback on how we fared with respect to the use of the word of the day and with respect to our use of grammar and language. At this point, I'll hand over to the general evaluator. Mr. General Evaluator, over to you.
All right. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Poemi. Sorry, I thought you were female. But now I know you're a handsome young man. All right, up next is the hack counter of the day, and she is none other but than Toastmaster Chinyere Oranugu. She's a businesswoman, and she likes distinctiveness and open-mindedness. Her primary focus in 2021 is she wants to delve into digital transformation and data analysis. Her favorite quote is succinct. It says, "Easy does it." Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Toastmaster Chinyere.
Easy does it. Copious.
Toastmaster Chinyere.
Very much for that warm introduction, General Evaluator. Good day, fellow Toastmasters and our esteemed guests in this meeting. I'm actually very elated to serve as the hack counter for this meeting. Often, when we're speaking and our brains cannot articulate our thoughts properly while speaking, we tend to fill our speeches with pause fillers. Now, pause fillers are words like, you get, and such like. Also, undue repeated words and unreasonable long pauses can be pause fillers. However, while speaking and you're unable to articulate your thoughts, you can as well pause and coordinate your flow. My duty in this meeting is to take note of our pause fillers and provide a report at the end of the meeting. I want to thank you very much for your time, and I want to also remind you to pause with purpose, adding meaning, clarity, and impact to your speech and presentations. I want to hand over to General Evaluator. Thanks.
Copious.
All right, thank you. Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Chinyere. Our final role player is the listening evaluator. As we all know, listening is very vital in communication. And our listening evaluator is Toastmaster John Lawal. Toastmaster John Lawal, are you in the house?
Yeah, good afternoon, General Evaluator. It's such a great privilege to be in today's Toastmasters meeting. And I want to really appreciate your kind word in introducing me. So today I'll be playing the role of the listening evaluator, just like it has been announced. I will be paying attention to words used during the course of the meeting. I'll be taking a lot of copious notes and noting essence in today's meeting, words that are used during the meeting. And I will go back after the meeting by the permission of the general evaluator to give and to check us on how well we've listened during the course of the meeting. And I'll be very sure that a lot of things will be said during the course of the meeting that are noteworthy. So I will be back to check all those noteworthy statements, sentences, and I want to check how well we paid attention to them. So at the end of the meeting, I will be back to check us on that. Thank you, the general evaluator.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster John Lawal, for your brief introduction. Those are the role players I'll be working with to give our evaluation at the end of this meeting. And because we have time is no longer on our side, I'd just like to introduce back to the lectern or to introduce the lectern. The Toastmaster of the day will be the pilot for this meeting. The Toastmaster of the day is none other than Chidi Chukwudi Madu. She is a chartered banker and project management professional. She enjoys dancing and taekwondo. Her primary focus for 2021 is to become a better version of herself. Her favorite quote says, you've got to dance like there's no one watching. Love like you've never been hurt. Sing like there's nobody listening. And live like it's heaven on earth. That's a quote by William W. Pocky. Our personal mantra is Kaizen, which means continuous improvement. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'd like to hand over the baton of leadership to the Toastmaster of the day. Please give her a warm round of applause. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you most graciously, the General Evaluator. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's meeting. Very quickly, we'll move into the first aspect of our meeting. The typical Toastmasters meeting is broken into 3 parts. Today, we'll be enjoying 4 parts of a Toastmasters meeting because we have a trainer who is going to take us through the importance of what you stand to gain as a member of Toastmasters Club. Today's theme of today's meeting says spring, springing forth, growing. You grow when you learn and implement what you have learned. Today we are fortunate to have with us Toastmaster Scott Adams, who is the founder of the Agile Sphere Consulting. That's a company that promotes equality and diversity in workplace through world-class training. Toastmaster Adams is a change agent, an agilist, a coach, an instructor with over 20 years of experience across several industries. He has worked across several industries, which include the Wellington University, the Bank of America, Adhol, the Housing, Walmart, Telbridge, just name it. This is across different sectors, healthcare, General Motors, wow. He holds a Bachelor of Business Technology from the Appalachian State University, an MBA with a concentration in IT management from the University of Phoenix. He's a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt from the Villanova University and more than a dozen other certifications. He has a loaded professional background. On a personal note, Toastmaster Adams has 3 children. He collects unique glassware and he resides in Greensboro, North Carolina. He is a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity and an appointed district officer in Toastmasters International. He also serves on the advisory board for the Agile Coaching Ethics Initiative. Toastmaster Adams is an area director, if I am not mistaken, of an area, and today he is here to take us through what we have to gain as Toastmaster. Now, pay attention that the trainer is not just a Toastmaster, you've heard his profile. So incorporating his professional life and making it with his Toastmaster knowledge and experience, we stand a lot to gain. Please join me to welcome to the virtual lesson, Toastmaster Scott Adams. Toastmaster Scott.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. May I have screen share, please? Very nice. Again, thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters, future Toastmasters, and guests. Can everyone hear me okay and see my screen? Our Toastmaster values are rise, rise, respect for the individual, integrity, service to the member, dedication to excellence. What is Toastmasters' mission? I love this. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Today, I'm here to talk to you about the importance of public speaking and how Toastmasters can help you. I am Scott Adams. I have an initials called EC5. If you've never seen that, that's one of the pathways in Toastmasters. And when you complete your pathway, you too will have an acronym behind your name. So for this particular one, that means I did effective coaching 5th level. That is the translation of that, if you're not aware. I am also an area director for Greensboro Toastmasters in this area, and I am so happy to be here with you today. My agenda for this short, brief presentation, and unfortunately, when I get done, I'm going to have to get off and get on another call for training at 10 o'clock. So my apologies in advance for that. But in this little time together, we want to talk about soft skills matter. I want to talk a little bit about why did I join Toastmasters. I want to introduce you to pathways, the purpose, and the different paths we have to get to your destination. Then we're going to take a few questions and have some actions. My objectives in this brief time with you is to demonstrate how Toastmasters can help develop communication and leadership skill, resulting in our mission statement. I want to identify how pathways provide a structured way for you to practice in order to get better and feel more confident about your public speaking. And then finally, I wanted to show you some other opportunities that are within Toastmasters that you can help improve your skills. So let's start with soft skills matter. The importance of soft skills. Unfortunately, soft skills is not anything that can be taught. It is something that we need for teamwork, leadership, collaboration, communication, creativity, and person-to-person service. Hard skills are easy to teach. Soft skills are not so easy. I want you to think about these numbers for a moment. 92% and 89%. Of all the top 10 soft skills out there, communication is number one. Sometimes I've seen it as low as number 2 or number 3, but communication is somewhere in the top soft skills that you will need and must have in your career to help you get to the next level. Soft skills matter. In fact, 89% feels that if a person is a bad hire, it is because they have poor soft skills, not technical skills, not professional skills, but they're lacking in soft skills, which Toastmasters is going to do an excellent job in helping you to groom that to a level that you're comfortable. Why did I join Toastmasters? Hopefully the same reason as you. I joined so that I could become a better speaker, a better leader, a better communicator, and also to help others do the same. Because this journey is not just about me. My background, I love servant leadership. In my professional life, I'm not a command and control type of leader. I prefer to be a servant leader. And that's in my spirit. That's what I value. So Toastmasters feels natural to me that we're creating this space that you can come in and practice and give you great feedback. As someone said in a different way, well, it was said the feedback is the breakfast of champions. I like to twist it and say, hey, I believe the fastest way to mastery is through feedback. The other way to mastery is if you learn a concept, to turn around and teach that concept to somebody else is another way to mastery. What are your reasons? What are your goals for being here at Toastmasters?
3 minutes.
Thank you. You choose a topic, you prepare a speech, you present a speech, and then you get evaluated. You get feedback. This process helps you go from a novice person to a professional and be very comfortable. Practice and feedback is what Toastmasters is all about. Introduction to pathways. Remember this here? We empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. How do we do that? Through pathways is one way. What is that? It is a structured learning experience. What are some of the benefits of pathways? I love it because, hey, you can access it anywhere. Your mobile device, wherever you are in the world, you can go online on your mobile device and access your pathways anywhere. There are over 300 skills within the pathway process itself. Recognize achievements each and every time you complete a module. You're going to get a certificate. You're going to get a pat on the back. Great job, everyone. Keep going. Keep practicing. Keep getting feedback. It is a specialized learning path on what is important to you. What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to improve upon specifically in your life for whatever reason that you have identified? More about pathways. Let's break down the word for a moment. Path is a sequence of events that needs to happen. Now, what about the S in this word? Pathways. S just symbolizes that there are many ways to get to your destination in Toastmasters. There are several roads. All roads lead to the same direction in terms of you being a better communicator tomorrow. So starting here at the bottom, this is our very first Toastmasters. Congratulations. Awesome job. This is you today. 1 year from now, you should be a better communicator. Next week at the next Toastmasters, if you are actively engaging yourself, you should be in the process of becoming a better communicator. Pathway core competencies. There are 5 things that every pathway has built in: public speaking, interpersonal communication, leading and managing, leading strategically, and building confidence. These are the core competencies built in every module, every pathway. And then you have 5 different levels. We have a copious amount of pathways, and we're adding more each and every year. Here we have 11. Identify which ones you think you might like, and if you don't know, that's okay. Toastmasters have thought of that too. Here, this gives you options of picking a pathway. If you know what you want, just go ahead and start it. If you do not, you can take an online assessment and it will give you a recommendation based upon the answers, how you answer the questions. And at the end of that, it will say, hey, I recommend that you do this. I did that when I started my very first pathway. It recommended I do something like dynamic leadership. I didn't want to do that, so I selected effective coaching. Your pathway journey will help you develop real-world transferable skills in many different areas. We've talked about communication, leadership, management, strategic planning, service to others, and also public speaking. How does that happen? By giving you the opportunity to practice and improve your skills each and every Toastmasters event. By giving speeches in your clubs based on the pathway. It is a guided way to deliver speeches. It's going to challenge you each and every time. Each module is different. Of course, you start out with an icebreaker speech, which is talking about yourself, but by the time you're into that module, you should be ready for public speaking. That is the last module in a pathway, ready to actually go public speak. Challenging yourself to build and refine certain competencies and skills. It's going to challenge you. How to deal with a noisy audience, how to deal with certain factors. It's all testing your skills as a presenter, as a public speaker, that, hey, everything is not going to be perfect as we see today. There's going to be background noises. There's going to be technical difficulties. There's going to be all of this. And the question is, how are you going to handle it? And Toastmasters give you an opportunity to practice that before you get in a real world situation. And then now you've built that muscle that you can quickly inspect and adapt your presentation based upon what's going on in the environment. Other opportunities. Practice Toastmasters by selecting a role. I love the different roles of Toastmaster because it gives you an opportunity to practice something different. The Sergeant of Arms, Josephine, you did an awesome job. Toastmaster, speakers, table topics. Table topics, you get a question and now you got to think off the cuff and how you're going to answer that while thinking about your arms and ums, not having those filler words. Listener, that is an awesome skill set that we are lacking in and can always improve upon. The timer and grammarian, all these different roles give you the ability to practice different things. Then when you get comfortable, you can compete on a district level, regional level, international level. Some of the categories are table topics, evaluator, and speeches. You can become a distinguished Toastmasters, which I am working on. Become a club officer, get engaged, serve more, become a district officer. All these ways are to help you improve your level of communication. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Awesome. Awesome.
Area director, are you there?
Yes, I am. So I was wondering, he said questions. Does anybody have any questions for Toastmasters Court?
Okay, and he has to drop off. Anyone with any questions for him very quickly?
If I could, I have a question, if possible.
Please go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Toastmaster Scott, for that incredible presentation introducing Toastmasters to us. I just had a question. In researching Toastmasters, I found out that there was a switch a year ago to pathways. I'm wondering why was there that switch? And especially for people who had started on a previous journey, how does this affect them in their Toastmasters journey? Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thank you for that beautiful question. I can't say exactly why they changed it to pathways. I only have opinions and I keep that to myself. But we do have two programs out there. The old legacy program where there was an awful lot of books, and now everything is all digital. And we also have pathways, which is more robust than the legacy program, which is like competent communicator. I came in on the new scale, which is the pathways. So I don't know much about the legacy environment. And that, so that you know, how is that going to impact you? I think for all legacy, if I'm not mistaken, at least here in the United States, all legacy programs are obsolete as of July of 2020. You've had to, by last year, you will have to convert to actual pathways here in the United States. I don't know if that's the same for worldwide, but awesome question.
Yeah, thank you very much. It does answer my question. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Final question, is there no other questions? I was wondering about your opinion regarding having Toastmasters online. So one of the benefits of Toastmasters is that you stand in front of an audience and they're able to give you feedback, not just on the content of your speech, but on how you're able to engage with the audience and how you're able to get rid of stage fright. Behind the screen is a lot different. So do you have any advice to give on engaging with your audience behind the screen? Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you. And I do have that advice, because some of my feedback in this virtual environment would be, hey, if a person is sitting down for their presentation, some of my feedback is going to be, hey, I challenge you to figure out a way that you can stand up so you can move around and so that we can see your hand gestures and practice. Yes, we are in a virtual environment, but we still can simulate it to some degree. That i.e. standing up versus sitting down. That's just one example. And just go from there. Just keep experimenting and try to get better in this virtual environment. I like it because, hey, I got the opportunity to hang out with y'all and it doesn't cost me anything but a little bit of time. It's quick and easy. I think this environment is here to stay. So I think we're going to really have to figure out how do we get the full experience out of this, at least for the short term. Beautiful question.
Okay, thank you very much. Good advice. Thank you.
I thank each and every one of you for your time. I will be joining back. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmasters Court. You have definitely given us copious reasons and copious gains on why we need what we have to take away from Toastmasters. We appreciate you taking the time to be here, and we know that we probably have eaten into the time for your other engagement, and we appreciate that you did not just leave us hanging at the tarmac. You stayed true and took us through this training. We do not take your time and the opportunity you've availed us for granted. Thank you. And we hope to see more of you in future. We hope to tap into your experience in order to help us gather the knowledge we need to grow. Thank you so much, everyone. And I hope you took serious notes, because I took away a lot from the training. I'm speaking as one who migrated from the traditional path to pathways. I can tell you that pathways is the place to go, because it opens you up to a whole lot of opportunities to grow. And it's digital, so you're not laden with the task of carrying papers on the mouth. It's a digital world. Anyone who is not an IT enthusiast at this point needs to take that on, because Toastmasters has taken us into the IT world. And then you have an agilist coming to train you on the importance of Toastmasters and patriot. Then, of course, you know it is not a joke. All right, we'll move on very quickly to the next part of the meeting. Toastmaster Mercy, your hand.
No, I was saying bye to Scott. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay, great. Thank you. Next on our agenda is the table topics. No, I told you that the typical Toastmasters meeting is split into 3 parts. Today, we're retreated to a 4-course meal. We've taken the first part, which is the training. Now we'll go to the second course of our meal, the table topics, where we'll have to. But let me not play the role of the table topics master. I will introduce our table topics master who will take us through that section. Our table topics master for today is Toastmaster Shayo Bilubaje. Toastmaster Shayo is a banker. He enjoys, so when they ask about two, like sex, family, and I'm trying to marry both of them. So I'll probably just say family and football. It was Arsenal. Well, okay, so maybe Arsenal is also a family on its own, correct? His primary focus for 2021 is freelancing, and his favorite quote is, "The room for improvement remains the biggest room in the world." That is deep. Toastmaster Shire, you have the virtual lecture.
Thank you very much for that very warm introduction. Just to check, I hope everybody can hear me. Can everybody hear me?
Toastmaster Shayo, we can hear you.
Absolutely, thank you very much. So, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, you are most welcome to the table topic section. And it's my pleasure to serve as the table topic master of the day. My name is Toastmaster Shayo Bilubaje. I can assure you right away that this will be your most memorable session of today's meeting. And the reason is very simple. This is the only session today where you have our copious participants to actually have the opportunity, the very rare opportunity to practice and perhaps showcase their ability to think on their feet and deliver a well-structured impromptu speech. Now listen carefully to the underline, structured. You will agree with me that there's a difference between just speaking to run down the clock and waiting for the timer to flash the red card down clearly and flash you the red card to say time is up. And there's a difference between clearly articulating your thoughts and deliver a well-structured impromptu speech. And without further ado, I'll quickly explain how we are going to participate in this session. With me here, I've got copious table topics, which a volunteer can easily participate by volunteering. All you need to do is to use the icon to raise your hand, and you can indicate, and after raising your hand, I will call on you for you to pick a number between 1 and 5, and I'll read the question that follows. So just to say that again, so we are clear and for our invited guests, because as I said, this is going to be your most memorable part of the meeting. So you choose between the number 1 to 5, and I'll read out the questions, and on your feet, you're able to do justice to those questions within 2 to 3 minutes. The timer will be very handy here for him to be able to monitor how we are able to use the time effectively. So, but for the benefit of our guests, it's going to be most useful for a valuable and an experienced Toastmaster to just take up leadership and just set the ball rolling. So I'll be looking through the virtual room and see if there are going to be takers, if there are going to be volunteers to actually set us rolling onto this table topic session. Like I said, I have 1 to 5, and I'm urging our experienced Toastmasters to please take the bull by the horn and show our invited guests how we do these things in Toastmasters. So please, are there any takers while I look around the room and see? Do you have volunteers?
Yes, Toastmaster Mercy.
Toastmaster Mercy, thank you very much. So we have 1 to 5, and in 2 to 3 minutes, we're able to do justice to a question. So which number would you like to go for?
I love 5 because it speaks to grace.
5. Fantastic. So based on your current daily actions and routines, where will you expect to be in 5 years? Is that clear?
Can you take the question again, please?
Okay. So based on your current daily actions and routines, where will you expect to be in 5 years?
In 5 years.
Absolutely.
I should retire. Retirement. Fascinatingly enough, I am facilitating Toastmasters, Learntor Toastmasters. I am actually coordinating Directors Guild of Nigerian election. So in 5 years, I should not be doing so much work. I've been seated on this position. So in 5 years, most definitely, I should retire and more time with my children. Enjoy the opportunities and the privileges of the work that I've done. So I see myself in the next 5 years, retiring, taking a break. I want to go scuba diving. I want to go something. I want to go, what's the other one? Mountain climbing. Some of the adventures that are put on my bucket list that I hope to make sure they are accomplished. Even if I'm like this on a walking stick, I have to. That's where I see myself in 5 years, on the table topic master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mercy. I know you're definitely going to do justice to that. Right about now, I would like to look through the room and call on invited guests. Please, let's take this opportunity. It's a very rare opportunity for us to actually practice your ability to think on the spot, think on your feet and deliver an impromptu speech. Like I said earlier, there's a clear difference between just speaking to wind down the clock, and there's a difference between articulating your thoughts and delivering this your speech effectively. So do you have any takers? Right about now, I would like to have invited guests. Please, this is an opportunity to actually try your luck at this and get better. And in Toastmasters, I can assure you, you're going to get valuable feedbacks that you can begin to work on, where the areas you need to improve and all that. So please, let's not shy away from this. I'll be looking through the room to see if anybody is taking. Do you have any takers?
I nominate Toastmaster Rosemary.
Somebody has her hands up.
And who is that? Who is that?
Chiugo. I got you.
All right, fine, fantastic. What number would you like to go for? 5 is out.
I would like to go for number 1, if possible, please.
Number 1, fantastic. So, can you tell us about a time where you had made something you thought impossible happen? I'll repeat that. Can you tell us about a time where you had made something you had thought impossible to happen?
Thank you very much, Table Topics Master. I'm the kind of person that always convinces myself that impossibility is just a word.
Okay.
In the grand scope of things, though, we find ourselves hitting walls, hitting challenges, hitting obstacles in our daily life. Sometimes we can go at it with a lot of confidence. Sometimes we have a lot of support, but other times we hit walls. One of these times was when I had deadlines at work. And I pride myself in being a multitasker. So not only did I have a deadline at work, I had a deadline with my family, I had a deadline with a different social activity that I was supposed to be frank, I was supposed to plan a social event. Sitting down and looking at my calendar where one thing is on top of the other, I just told myself, this is impossible. Not only do I not have the time, resources, I don't have the money. And to be honest, I'm just going to shut down and not show up to any of them. But something said to me, if you shut down, then what? How do you eat an elephant? Little by little. I faced the challenge head on. I delegated some tasks, and I was able to attend 3 events, deliver on my deadline, although it wasn't as good as I wanted it to be for work. I was able to show up. So I have learned a lesson from that. Even though I am not able to perform 100% across the board, I tell myself that showing up is half the battle. Mr. Toastmaster, Table Topics Master, I yield back to you.
Absolutely. I'm tempted to believe you're already a Toastmaster, but I will leave that for the evaluator to handle that. Any other takers, please? Thank you very much. Thank you very much, really. Thank you. Any other takers?
There is another hand up, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Elizabeth, thank you very much. We have 1 and 5 out, so you have between 2, 3, and we have 2, 3, and 4. What's the number?
4, please.
4. Thank you. Do you own your things, or do your things own you? I'll say that again. Do you own your things, or do your things own you?
Thank you very much for the question. Do I own my things, or my things own me?
Own you, yes.
Well, I would say it's been called my things, so I own them. Because when I own them, I manage how I use my things valuably. For me, I own my things. I use my things the way they should be used. I manage my time and everything I own. So I own my things. Thank you.
Do you allow your things to own you? Well, I guess you are done with
I do not allow my things to own me. When my things own me, they take control of how I use them. But when I own my things, I take control of how I use them. So they are my things. I decide when to get them and when to use them.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Any other takers? We have time on our hands. We are still going to take 2 more. So any other taker, or I nominate somebody? Let's just look around.
Sharon, Olumide.
Sharon and Olumide, fine, fantastic. Sharon, go for it. What number?
What numbers do you have left?
So I have number 2 and number 3.
Let me go for number 3.
Number 3. All right, and I love this one. If I could grant you just one wish, what would you wish for? Toastmaster Sharon.
Guys, there with Sharon. It's far away. You can turn off your camera, Sharon.
I think so too.
Sharon, turn off your camera.
Yes, we can hear you now. Are we struggling to hear you, Sharon?
Can you hear me now?
It's cracky.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's better. Go for it. Yes, go for it.
Now.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. Yes. So, hi everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to. So, if you grant me just one wish, I will wish for my dad's life last year. And
Master Sharon, I think the network is bad. Apologies, we can't hear you, Toastmaster Sharon. Apologies.
So now, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's good, but we hope it will remain like that.
Let me try again.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, so if you would grant me just one wish, I would wish for my dad to come back to life. I lost my dad in May. Yeah, I mean, I desire a lot of things. I mean, I desire to be great. I want to achieve my dreams. I desire for my family to get to where we desire ourselves to be. But my biggest wish is for my father to be alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. Though we struggled through the network, but we got the message loud and clear. Thank you, Toastmaster Sharon, for always trying to do this. Thank you, thank you. I cannot thank you enough. So the last volunteer, you have no other question but question 2. Are you with me? Can I go for it? Can I read it now? Hello?
That's Toastmaster Olumide.
Toastmaster who? Toastmaster Olumide. All right, so I have just one last question, which is
Well, please, who is the timer? I want to pin the timer string.
Okay.
In the chat. You are capable, Mr. Olumide.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Last questions are usually the most difficult.
Toastmaster Olumide, no, you'll be shocked. It's actually the easiest here, really. So,
okay,
and it's very, very cool, really. What have you read online recently that inspired you and why? What have you read online recently that inspired you and why?
What have I read online recently that inspired
you and why?
About 2 weeks ago, when the confirmation of the WTO general, the person of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, emerged as the first lady, and not only the first lady, the first African to head a powerful organization like that. Things like that gives me goosebumps. So, Nigeria, a third world country, can direct the affairs of the whole world. I think is a sigh of relief that it is not just negative news that emanates from Africa. We have a positive one. And if you want to continue to sing the praises of that, let us be. Toastmasters and guests. I looked at it. If Ngozi can do it, Tony can do it. If Toastmaster Tony can do it, Toastmaster Mercy, Learntor can do it. All these things inspires us as Africans, inspires us as people, and it inspires mankind. Toastmasters again is a source of inspiration. Over to you, the Table Topics Master.
Thank you very, very kindly, Toastmaster Olumide, for that very articulate, well delivered impromptu speech. And that's what Toastmaster is all about. Thank you very much for everyone for participating. This is indeed very memorable, like I promised it's going to be. Thank you as I yield the virtual microphone to the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Chidi, over to you.
Thank you most graciously, the Topics Master, Toastmaster sharing very interesting topics that are related to anybody can attempt them without necessarily breaking their heads and trying to interpret what those questions were. Well done on the anchoring of that table topic session. Very quickly, Mr. Timer, can you please let us know if all the speakers were within time and qualified?
Okay. Thank you very much once again for the opportunity to Toastmaster Sharon and Toastmaster Elizabeth spent 30 seconds each, so they are not they won't be eligible to be voted for. Thank you very much.
Okay, so that means we have 3 speakers that are qualified to be voted for. Toastmaster,
yes. Toastmaster Tuber, Toastmaster Olumide, and Toastmaster Mercy.
And Toastmaster Olumide. Zoom Master, how do we go about voting? Will there be a poll, or how do we vote for the best table topic speaker? All right. So please vote for your best table topic speaker. And while that is going on, I think we would go on our break here and utilize the break for the introduction of our guests. Madam SAA, please take us through the introduction of the guests. So basically their names, what they do, who introduced them or invited them to the meeting, and their experience so far. If our guests are intending Toastmasters, so prospective Toastmasters or rather chartered Toastmasters or blended Toastmasters Club, please let us know that you are a member of Learntor Toastmasters Club. And if you're a guest, let us know you are a guest. Toastmaster, well, aspiring Toastmaster Elizabeth. It's nice to see you and nice to hear you speak. I'm certain that within the shortest time possible, you become a Toastmaster. Madam S.A., please take us through. We have 5 minutes for this introduction. We'll take the much we can now, and we'll continue after the meetings, the prepared speech and the evaluations. Thank you.
Josephine, you are the Madam S.A. Sergeant at Arms.
Yes, I didn't get that. Whoa.
All right. So just take us through the introductions. We have a couple of guests in the meeting. You can use the participant list to just go through and call them one after the other to introduce themselves.
Okay.
She's on the phone. If a new member, please can you just introduce yourself and let's get to know you where you're joining us from. Any new members in the house?
If they can drop new on the chat box, that will help me. Okay, first time. Okay.
Okay, Lady Lovett, do you want to unmute yourself and let us get to know you?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Okay, so my name is Lady Lovett Gibson. I'm a business administrator and a serial entrepreneur. I do Forex, I do health, I do farming, I do real estate. And I'm a woman, as my name implies. I mean a real woman, no surgery. And I'm a single mom by inheritance. My late sister's kids are with me, so I'm now their mom. Thank you very much.
Interesting.
You're welcome.
I think the question would be, how do you assess our meeting and would you like to join us?
Yes, I already told you that before, yes. I would like to join, but I need to know the benefits.
You're most welcome.
More. Yes, I need to know more of the benefits. I know you've told me the sign-on fee.
Can we have Ife Ukurie? Ukurio, I'm sorry if I didn't get your name. Okay.
Okay, Ru. It's okay, Ru. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear you.
please. Please proceed.
Hello.
We can hear you.
Please
Please
go ahead.
proceed.
Sorry,
We can hear you.
my bandwidth is low, so I can't share my video. Sorry about that. But my name is Ifu Keru. I'm a medical personnel, precisely a nurse, and I heard about Toastmasters right from Netherlands, BSN Toastmasters Netherlands, and through Toastmasters Tosin Mogime. And from what I've seen today, I think I'm in love with Learntor Toastmasters, and I would like to be a member because the time is quite favorable. At least I don't work weekends, and going forward, I would want to join you. Thank you.
All right, because we don't have time, please, if you're new, you can just go ahead and unmute yourself. I can see Chugo, Elizabeth, Rosemary, Anifat, Philip, Titilayo, Ifeoluwa, Ebere, Emmanuel. Okay, Emmanuel has dropped a note. Just please feel free, unmute yourself and do the introductions. We would love to meet you. All right, thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay, can I speak?
Go ahead, Philip.
Hello, everyone. My name is Philip. I am a risk manager. I work with the credit risk department of a financial institution. I joined this platform through Toastmaster Oluwatoyin Bolajoko, and from what I have seen so far, I am highly interested in being a member of the Toastmasters Club. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. We would love to have you join us. Elizabeth, you can go ahead.
Okay, everyone. Good afternoon once again. I learned about Toastmasters years ago, and I've always wanted to be part of it. Though Toastmaster Tosin Imogeneti has always been inviting me for this to learn and to see how I can be part of it. So having one meeting that holds on Sundays is, I think it's more favorable for me. And it's been a wonderful experience. It's my first time joining a table talk. I am happy to be here. Thank you.
The Google form that will be dropped in the chat. I want your phone number so that the Vice President membership can reach out to you directly. Okay? Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Sorry.
Oh, Rosemary, go ahead. Rosemary.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Hello.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm joining from Abuja, Nigeria. I'm Rosemary. I'm a guest of Learntor. So yeah, I've enjoyed the session so far, and yeah, it will be nice to know more about Toastmasters. Yeah, and I'm interested in being a member. Thank you.
Glad to have you here, Rosemary, and we look forward to engaging more with you, so you learn more of the benefits and get to join us.
Thank you.
Anybody who wants to do introductions, you can also feel free to just drop your introduction on the chat box. And a Google form link that has been pasted on the chat box, please use it, drop your details, and we will definitely get back to you. We will engage you and share with you more on the benefits. Toastmasters Course has taken us through some of the benefits Toastmaster has to offer with us today. So drop your details and we'll engage more. You get to learn more of the copious benefits that you can take away from being a member of Toastmasters International.
All right. Hello.
All right. So we'll move on very quickly to Our third course meal, which is the prepared speeches. Today we have one prepared speech, and this prepared speech will be delivered by Toastmaster Oluwatoyin Bolajoko. Toastmaster Toyin will be evaluated by Toastmaster Chidi. Toastmaster Chidi, please go ahead and give us the objective of Toastmaster Toyin's speech. Everyone, Toastmaster Toyin will be speaking from the innovative planning part, level 3, project 3, deliver social speeches. Toastmaster Toyin, the objective of your speech is to develop a social speech, 3 to 4 minutes, and to present it at a club meeting. You may choose any type of social speech that appeals to you and what you would like to practice. Now, your speech can be a toast, an eulogy, an acceptance speech, and a speech praising an individual or group. Today, Toastmaster Toyin has decided to present an acceptance speech. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as Toastmaster Toyin delivers her acceptance speech. Toastmaster Toyin is a corporate sales executive. She had earlier been introduced by the SAA because she is the charter president of Learntor Toastmasters Club. Please join me to welcome to the virtual lectern Toastmaster Toyin for her speech. Toastmaster Toyin, you have 3 to 4 minutes. I wish you the best.
Thank you, the Toastmaster of the day. Have you ever had a challenge right in front of you? How do you react to them? Do you accept the challenge, or do you find an easy way to meander and escape? I know challenges are the worst, but often they bring out the best in you. Good afternoon, esteemed Toastmasters and amazing guests. Today, I am here to tell you about a recent challenge that I accepted. It was a Thursday afternoon. I was just minding my business. It had been a stressful day, and I did not want any disturbance of any sort. In fact, I couldn't wait for the day to be over. But guess what? This day was far from over because I was about to receive a call that would change my life. My phone rang. I looked at it. It was Toastmaster Mercy. I picked up the phone and I could hear her ever excited voice on the other end. Hello, Toastmaster Toyin. How are you doing today? I said, I'm fine, thank you. She said, I've been trying to reach you. I just founded a club, Learntor Toastmasters Club, and I would like you to be the president. I was dumbfounded. I did not know what to say. How on God's green earth will Toastmaster Mercy think about me as a president? It was too much to take in at that time. My mind was frantic and I kept giving excuses. I can't certainly take on this role. I am too busy. This is too much. My job is already too demanding. And I kept going on and on in my mind. She must have sensed my hesitation because the next word that came out of her mouth was, I think you should speak to our mentor about this. We have the same mentor in Toastmasters. So I dropped the phone and called our mentor, Toastmaster Abdullahi. And the first thing I said is, Toastmaster Mercy wants me to be the president, but I'm too busy. I don't have the skill set. I don't know what to do. He listened to my ranting quietly, and then he said, I think you should accept this challenge. We thought about you before nominating you. We believe you. You can do it. That was all I needed. You can do it. We believe in you. I accepted the challenge to drive leadership in the club, to serve and to bring myself the knowledge and the wisdom that I have gained to the benefit of all the members. I accepted the challenge to work with like-minded individuals who want to cause impact. I accepted the challenge to make myself available to you on your growth journey, to make myself lead you and guide you and serve you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, challenges in themselves are not obstacles. However, how we react to them will determine the trajectory of our lives. I am here today because I accepted the challenge. And I can tell you that Toastmasters is not a place that leaves you alone. Right here, I have the support of a village of mentors, experts, and executives who have copious knowledge and are willing to help you. I'd like to also encourage you to accept that challenge today, to become a better version of yourself, because who knows, you might be the next president of Learntor Toastmasters Club. Challenges bring out the best in you. I hope you can look back at yourself one day and say, yes, challenge accepted. Thank you, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much for that motivating and inspiring speech. Indeed, you chose to challenge. Allow me at this point to say happy International Women's Day to all the beautiful, delectable, and strong women in the meeting today. Toastmaster Tony certainly struck a chord. What do you do with challenges? Do you shy away from it, or do you choose to challenge that challenge? Wow, well done. I'm really excited. All right, everyone, please feel free to drop a love note to Toastmaster Tony. What did you feel about her speech? Toastmasters will call it a love note. You can just send her a private message on the chat and tell her what she has done well, or just post it so that we can all enjoy whatever good words you have for her. Let her know what she has done well with her speech. And if you have any area of recommendation for her improvement, please also feel free to share with her. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Oluwatoyin. Right about now, remember I told you had just one speech for today. We're moving to our fourth course meal, which is the evaluation section. In Toastmasters, everything gets evaluated. An evaluation is said to be breakfast of champion. I have a friend who said evaluation is the breakfast, the lunch, the dinner, appetizer, everything, even the junk meal of champion. And I agree with him, because you can only grow when you get feedback that you can apply to yourself. And to take us through this evaluation session is our enigmatic general evaluator, Toastmaster Tosin. Mr. G.E., please confirm that you are still in the meeting and ready to take us through the evaluation section.
Absolutely, still with you.
Right. Now, I want to introduce Toastmaster Tosin because I understand when he took over the virtual lectern, he was not properly introduced. You need to know who our general evaluator is. Toastmaster Tosin is an emotional intelligence expert. Wow. He's an author and a life coach. He likes learning and inspiring people. And his goal for this year is to author more books and to start his radio show. Now, Toastmaster Tosin already has 2 books. He had 1 book, so he has a second book that is out. I'm sure he's probably going to share more with us. Just share with us on the chat box so that we know how to reach you and how to get a copy of your book. His favorite quote is, "When I die, don't go looking for me in any tomb or grave, but find me in the hearts of men." That's a quote by Rumi. Wow. This drives home the quote by Maya Angelou that says that people will forget what you say, people will forget what you do, but they will not forget how you make them feel. And because Toastmaster Tony is one who likes to inspire, he wants to leave a mark in the hearts of men so that when he is no longer on earth, he will be remembered by how he has made people feel. Toastmaster Tony, you have the virtual lecture.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Chidi. I feel elated by your warm introduction. Thanks for doing the right thing. All right, Brian Tracy, an American author and consultant, always says, after you do something or anything, always ask yourself, what did I do well? And how could I have done it better? And without evaluation, we understand that we cannot improve ourselves. So that's the essence of the evaluation segment. And I'll be running through it with my team of extraordinary gentlemen, as I often like to call them. And the very first gentleman who will be kickstarting the evaluation session is our table topics evaluator. You know, we had the table topics session where people spoke extemporaneously, that is speaking impromptu. So the first evaluator is Toastmaster Boluwatife Banwo. He is an human resource professional. He enjoys leadership and politics. Wow, that's interesting. His primary focus for 2021 is to grow in all ramifications. His favorite quote says, "Man is the measure of all things, of things that they are, and things that are not, and things that they are not." Wow, that's quite profound. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with a warm and virtual round of applause, please give it up for Toastmaster Boluwatife Banwo. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and our guests.
Good
It's
afternoon.
a pleasure to be here. Okay, so you can hear me. That's fantastic. Today, my role is that of the Table Topics Evaluator. And as a Table Topics Evaluator, I'll be giving feedback to our Table Topics respondents on how well they fared in the course of their presentations. Now, in Toastmasters, we have a technique for giving evaluations in table topics, in prepared speeches, and everything we do so that we capture the essence of our evaluations. We tell you first what you did well, then we impute the things we believe you can do better, and then we close with other things you did very well in the course of your speech. And I'm going to be adopting the same CRC principle. To start with, we had Toastmaster Mercy, who spoke about what she would be doing in 5 years, where she would see herself in 5 years based on her activities now. And she went straight to the point. That's something I liked about the response she gave. She said it, the first thing she said was that she wanted to retire in 5 years. That was fantastic. She knew what she wanted. In fact, she probably didn't have to think about the question because she already had it planned, and that's very good. Then other things she did very well, she stood up in the course of her speech. She started the speech sitting down, and then she realized that she couldn't pass the message so well sitting down. She decided to stand up. That was fantastic. It's good to be versatile. You should be able to change course in the course of your speech so that you are able to deliver effectively. She also used her body very well. If you remember, in the course of her speech, she tried to show what an old woman would look like holding a walking stick. I think that was fantastic. It's good to use body language when we're speaking. Now, what are the things we believe you can do better? In the course of your speech, when you stood up, you had your hands by your side for the first few seconds. That's not very good. We want to see your hands move. Of course, we don't want excess movement, but then we want to see your hands move. You did that later on in the course of the speech, which is good. But you started off with your hands by your side, which is not so fantastic. Also, you clasped your hands in the course of your speech. It is advisable not to clasp your hands. Your hands should not be together. If you're trying to gesticulate, please do that. But when you clasp your hands, it doesn't give us the right vibe. So please, when you speak next time, let's try as much as possible to keep our hands apart. Then you also told us a list of things you wanted to do. That's something I found to be profound. Like I said earlier, you had it planned out. You talked about wanting to go scuba diving and other things, and I thought that was quite impressive. Toastmaster Mercy, what do I want to see you do again? I want to see you give a speech next week. Thank you for that presentation. Our next table topics responded was Toastmaster Oguiro. I hope I got the name correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. You were to tell us about when you did something you thought was impossible. I like the virtual background you used. That was a nice one. I mean, it caught my attention. I think it added to your speech, in my opinion. You also built up to the answer. Now, there are different approaches to answering questions. You may want to answer first and then talk about it, elaborate. You may want to build up to your answer. And that was what Toastmaster Oguigo. I apologize if I'm not getting the name correctly. I will try as much as possible to get it next meeting. Then you had a methodical approach to what you wanted to tell us. You started off talking about what you had to do. You had so many things to do. You started off talking about, you also went to what your mindset was about it at the beginning. And you told us how you transited from that mindset to a better mindset that helped you to achieve your purpose. For the things I'd like to recommend, Toastmaster Oguiro, I would really like to see you speak. You were not standing, so there was not so much things I could pick in terms of your body movement and other things, but I think you did a good speech. You also described some of the events that happened in the course of that period. Then you told us about yourself. That's something that's profound. You gave us a background as to what kind of person you are and how that helped you to overcome that challenge. Then you gave us a very good quote. You said, showing up is half the battle. So I'm going to say this to everyone who is here. You're going through something, you have a challenge, please take the advice of Toastmaster Aguero. Showing up is half the battle. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that presentation. The next respondent was Toastmaster Elizabeth. She was asked if she owned her things or her things owned her. She gave a direct answer. She said she owns her things. Now, what she did that I really liked was that she explained what it means to own your things and also what it means to have your things own you. And then she chose the one that was what she wanted to tell us. So she gave us a meaning and then she picked what she wanted to tell us. You did not use the video. I understand this might be bandwidth issues or network issues, but we would have really loved to see you use the video. I am also not very sure about your timing. I felt your answer was too concise. You did not meet up to the time, in my opinion. I don't know, but I think it was too short an answer. Then you were very direct with your answer and you greeted us. That's very important. If you're going to speak, please acknowledge the audience. It is very, very important. The next respondent was Toastmaster Sharon. And the question was, if there was anything we could do, if you had a wish we could, do, what would it be? The network really did not allow us to enjoy the speech. I feel very bad that we didn't get full value for that time, but you said some really good things. You stood up from the beginning of your speech, meaning you were prepared to speak to us. Now, there's a contrast between what she did and what Toastmaster Mercy did. Toastmaster Mercy started off sitting down, realized that she couldn't pass the message well sitting down, she stood up. But Toastmaster Sharon, she stood up from the beginning, and that was profound. That was good. Then you talked about your dad. You said you would, if there was anything we could do, you would want him to come back. I'm sad that he would come back. I feel really bad about that. I sympathize with you, and I say to you, be strong. Other things you did very well in the course of your speech, you greeted us, you repeated the question, and you got me emotional. I usually don't get emotional, but your speech got me emotional. Thank you very much for delivering that speech. I am also not very comfortable with the time, but I understand that this was due to the network. The last respondent we had was Toastmaster Lumide. Let me say this. I've seen Toastmaster Lumide deliver speeches in different meetings. And then when I heard he's going to be speaking table topics today, I was like, Toastmaster Lumide is here again. Toastmaster Lumide, what have you read online recently that inspired you? You told us, you repeated the question, which gave you some time to think. Then you told us a story. One of the things I learned is that when you're trying to make your speech stick, lace it with a story. And that's exactly what he did. He told us the story of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and how she became WTO Director General, and this inspired him. Now, he only did not just show us how this inspired him, he took the next step to try to inspire us with his speech. And I felt that was very, very important. Don't just be inspired. Try as much as possible to use your inspiration to inspire other people. What would I love to see you do? Just like you give speeches in other clubs, you can. Maybe one day you should give a speech at Learntor's Toastmasters Club. Other things you did very well. You talked about the power of positivity, and then you talked about how inspired you were by the third world country having to lead one of the world's biggest organizations. That was fantastic. I'm inspired. I hope every other person here is inspired. At this juncture, I'd like to thank everyone for listening, and I'd like to thank everyone who responded for taking my evaluations. I hope that in subsequent speeches, we'll see improvements in our speeches and our evaluations will be used properly. The Toastmaster.
The general evaluator. All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Banwo. That was really remarkable. I learned a lot from your evaluation, and I'm sure that all the table topics speakers also learned as well. All right, up next is the evaluator, the speech evaluator for Toastmaster Toyin's speech, which she is our president, the charter president of Learntor Toastmasters Club. So Toastmaster Chidi, the Toastmaster of the day, kindly give us your evaluation, ma'am.
Thank you, the General Evaluator. Toastmaster Toyin, congratulations on the successful delivery of your speech, acceptance speech. I love how you started with a question. And question always captivates the attention of the audience. I know it captivated my attention and got me thinking to that question, challenge. So what would I do if I face a challenge? And the moment I heard the term challenge, it reminded me of the fact that Choose to Challenge is rather the theme of this year's International Women's Day celebration. And it prompted me to celebrate the women in the room. I love how your question also got me thinking and expectant on what it is you were going to talk about. It was an acceptance speech, and I was trying to merge challenge, acceptance. It's okay, so let me hear what direction she will go with her speech. I love how you role played, and hearing you voice modulate to somehow capture Toastmaster Mercy's voice. I could literally hear Toastmaster Mercy speaking, because you not only almost sounded like her, but your mannerism perfectly suited the message in my head. So like, okay, so I felt like I was the one being spoken to on the phone, and then you use the phone. So you use that phone for me was a prop. So you use the phone to show that yes, you were making a call. You also went ahead to do the green to depict the phone ring thing. I think you did that very well. You while you speaking, your body spoke, your voice modulation was apt, and your voice was projected. So I am sure that everybody could hear you. So there was no question, oh, network issue. No, it was clear, and we heard you speak from start to finish. Well done. I talked about your vocal variety. What I think, I need to mention something again you did very well. I don't know if this was deliberate or if it was by chance. You incorporated a rhetorical device, plus free. So when you went and said, I accepted, it stuck. Because it said that when you repeat a word 3 times, it lasts longer in the mind of your listeners than when you repeat it once or twice. You know, you're saying that says, third time is a charm. It's definitely how that triad rhetorical device works, and you employ that in your speech. I think that was very well done. What would I have loved you to do better? Now, this was an acceptance speech. You gave us a background to build up to your accept thing. What I had expected you to do was to create your plots. So this is Learntor Toastmasters, and you're using Learntor as your case study for your speech. What I expected you to do was just come and create a plot and say, members of Learntor Toastmasters, maybe we say some time ago, I got a call to take on instead of giving us the full background. So if you include those bits of the background into the speech, it adds more validity to that speech as an acceptance speech. This speech, while it can pass for an acceptance speech, could also pass for an inspirational speech, so that we don't get people mistaken on what the objective is. It's best to just create your plot and speak to that plot. You already have your role play, you already have your prop. The plot was the only thing I think was missing to actually skyrocket the impact of your speech. But aside that, I think you did spectacularly well. You're a prolific speaker. I've heard you speak, and your growth and shows that you're deliberate about your improvement on your speech, and the fact that you are passionate about it. So you're passionate. Your passion showed through while you were speaking, and the fact that for you this was a challenge that you decided to take on, it tells us that this is personal to you. And when you make your speech personal, or you bring in a personal touch, it helps your listeners relate more. So that they can actually say, okay, yes, if Toastmaster Tony can do this or take this on, of course, I can also take on what challenge that I probably have been overlooking or avoiding in my own life. I think you smashed it. Well done, Toastmaster Tony. I look forward to hearing you speak. Over to you, the general evaluator.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Chidi, for that warm and great feedback. At some point, I was tempted to think that you and Toastmaster Tony you have planned this, because that was wonderful. All right, up next to the role players. Very first role player to give feedback is Toastmaster Chinyere, the hard counter. Toastmaster Chinyere, kindly give us your feedback now.
Thank you very much. And I'll just use the first filler. Well, there was copious use of first filler in our speeches by various people. However, it wasn't so conspicuous. And that's me going again. Sorry about that. So I had to write, I'm sorry, I'm looking down. I hope you don't mind. Yeah. What I noticed people using just like I have done. I noticed the use of and people dragging I and filling up their speech, even though it wasn't so obvious. Table topic speech. Table topic role player did use 4 times. Chuigo Agaji used it 2 times. Philip dragged I and used 2 times. Rosemary did that once. Lovett did that 4 times. Elizabeth Iwo dragged I twice. However, in all this usage, it wasn't as disruptive for everyone of us to notice, I would assume, because they're just so short and it didn't disrupt the flow of their speeches. I hand it back over to General Evaluator.
All right, thanks, Toastmaster Chinyere. I understand this is your first time playing the role, and that was good enough for a start. All right, up next is Toastmaster John Lawa, who is our listening evaluator for this meeting. He's providing us our listening report. Well, because of time, because we're running out of time now, it's almost 5 p.m. Please kindly just drop a few questions in the chat box for our participants to respond to. So please, we're trying to manage the time. We want to ensure that we finish before 5 p.m. possibly. Toastmaster John, we apologize for this inconvenience. So please, we just have to manage our time properly. Toastmaster John, confirm that you've heard me, sir.
Yeah, perfectly.
All right, so sorry, sir. Please just engage the chat room. All right, next is our grammarian. Our grammarian is me a moment, please. Our grammarian is Toastmaster Okpe Taiwo. Toastmaster Okpe Taiwo, can you give us your reports as brief as possible?
Okay, good afternoon again, distinguished Toastmasters. It's been an interesting meeting, one rife with interesting vocabulary. The word of the day, copious, enjoyed reasonable patronage. The word of the day, copious, was used 9 times. Our coach, Toastmaster Scott Adams, used it once. Toastmaster John, the listener, also used it once. Madam Toastmaster TM Chidi used it twice. Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Shayo used it twice. Toastmaster Josephine used it once. Toastmaster Tony used it once. The accounter, Toastmaster Chinwe, used it once. So impressive usage all for the day. And also we had interesting use of idioms. We had Toastmaster Shayo say things like take the bull by the horn, quite popular but interesting. We also had Toastmaster Chidi, she said struck a chord, an interesting idiom also used. A few corrections though. We had a couple of Toastmasters use the word very multiple times. We had a Toastmaster used it 3 times, very, very, very kindly. We also had a Toastmaster used it twice, very, very important. As a matter of fact, made that statement twice. In as much as we understand the magnitude of the urge to communicate your appreciation, we have to confine ourselves to using it once. The whole idea of speaking, we want to make it as formal as the same way we have it in writing, and just the same way to be inappropriate to write very, very, very well, thank you in our written communications. In like manner is somewhat inappropriate to also use in our spoken communication. I think we should take this to note and see how we can do better. Other than that, it was an interesting meeting. Over to you, General Bolly.
All right, Toastmaster Okpayemi, thank you very much for your feedback. In fact, that was quite impressive. I want to believe you're already a Toastmaster. Thank you very much for highlighting the fact that some of us use very, we're used to that word. All right, up next is, okay, we should have our timer, but I think the timer has given his reports. Do you have anything else for us, Toastmaster Israel?
No, except to contribute that we should all endeavor to give out those our presentations or our table topics within time, and we should try, like the evaluator said, we should make use of our time very well. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Toastmaster Israel. All right, it was Bill Gates, one of the world's richest men, who said it is fine to celebrate success, but it's much more important to heed the lessons of failure. And as we know, failure is not a person, failure is just an event. So when we fail, we pick up the lessons and we get better. So here is my general evaluation. Learntor Toastmasters Club is a new club. And while we shouldn't expect much, Toastmasters has a standard, and some of us are already Toastmasters, so we should ensure that we meet these standards. So one of my commendations, the meeting started right on time, which is impressive. Once it was 3 p.m., all role players were available. That's quite impressive. At certain times, you go to even other clubs that more experienced. Once the meeting starts, you begin to look for one role player or the other. But once the meeting started, all role players were available. Meeting attendance was 43 at some point. I don't know, because I have to check it from time to time. At some point, it was at 43, which is highly commendable for a new club, Learntor Toastmasters. So that's kudos to every member of Learntor Toastmasters, and especially the PR, those who are working behind the scenes to ensure that we publicize this event. Now, when we started, we had some glitches because our guest trainer needed to give his training perhaps he had some other engagement he needed to attend to. And because of that, there were some glitches. However, I like the fact that we gained our balance as time went on. There's a quote that says that even the sun is weak when it starts, when it rises, but it becomes stronger as time goes on. So it's okay for, for people or for us to be shaky at some point, and when we start, but it's much more important to gain your balance and and your momentum improves, which I must commend. And I like the fact that the SAA, that is Sergeant Hams, she appeared naive when she started, but I must commend the fact that she was courageous to even take up this task. There's a quote by Ziegler that says, "You cannot be great before you start, but you have to start before you become great." So kudos to you, Josephine. Don't feel discouraged. Just keep at it. And I also want to commend the fact that, we were kind of going back at some point to trying to, distort the flow. But the Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster of the Day is the pilot of every Toastmasters meeting. And it got to a point where we're shaking, going back and forth, but the Toastmaster of the Day, she seized control and told us what to do. That's one of the all marks of a good Toastmaster of the Day, seizing control and ensuring that things go smoothly. My recommendations, what I would love us to do better. Now, there are lots of recommendations because, of course, we're a new club, but these recommendations will enable us grow. Now, when we started the meeting, this SAA was quite naive and she didn't really show confidence. However, I would really like to encourage her that, there's a saying that when you sweat, the longer you sweat in training, the lesser you bleed in battle. So I would recommend that you do a lot of training behind the scenes. I was recommending in our WhatsApp platform that we should practice, because the more you practice, the lesser you make errors when you speak publicly. So you also have an opportunity to attend other Toastmasters meeting and see how it's been done, and you will learn in the process. I also remember that we were trying to say the national anthem. I recommend that we just say the pledge because of time. Just recite the pledge, and the SAA, that's the Toastmaster Josephine, let her just do it. Because at the point when we had some sound on. Personally, for me, I don't know, I'm speaking now from my opinion. Personally, for me, it was a bit too loud and noisy. So we can just recite it. And because we don't want to become rowdy, you can just entrust that to the SAA. Now, I expect the timer to already have been made the co-host. I don't expect the timer to come and start speaking and then start demanding to be made co-host. So when it's done prior to the time you're supposed to come on board, it becomes easier for him. It just goes smoothly. He just shares the screen and begin to share the timer cards. And I also didn't see the timer cards. I didn't see the green card. I didn't see the yellow card. I didn't see the red card. These are the things that we use at Toastmasters. Please ensure that you use timer cards going forward. Now, it's only moral for us to turn off our mics when we're not speaking. It's only moral for us to turn off our mics when we're not speaking. Especially the timer. I noticed that your face kept popping up. That's the thing about Zoom. When you are speaking or when you are, the noise is coming from your own side, your face will keep popping up. Like I'm seeing Toastmaster Rosemary's face now popping up. It pops up. So please turn off your mic. Now, this is specifically for the timer. You didn't turn off your mic initially when you started, and that's because maybe you weren't ready. But I was introducing you, saying your name and telling people about who you are and all that. So instantly you turn on your mic so we can see you and connect you. So we'll be sure that you're a human being. Also, I noticed you were showing the timer's reports while the table topic session was still going on. Now I noticed that I think perhaps the last speaker, he said something about wanting to be sure he was right on time. Perhaps you had given him you had given me a clue that the previous speakers were perhaps not speaking within the allotted time. So it's more like cheating when you already share the timer's report before the end of the session. So you wait till the end of the session before you now share all the timer's report. Because if I'm one of the speakers and I see my predecessors, those that are speaking before me, perhaps they didn't speak within the allotted time, it gives me a clue and I then want to adjust. So it's not fair to other speakers. The Toastmaster of the day, the topic speaker, now this is for the table topic speaker, he said something like, you were telling the last speaker that his own topic is the easiest. Now, the table topic session is still like a contest. So if you tell the last speaker that his or her speech is the easiest, you're indirectly telling the previous speakers that you are being unfair. So just tell the speaker that don't worry, your speech or your topic is also going to be as easy as others, but don't try as much as, don't ensure not to give anyone or make anyone give anyone the impression that you're giving anyone a preferential treatment. At some point, I noticed we're positioned to one side. You should be at the middle. This is the table topics master now. Be at the middle, be at the center, and let's see you. The Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Chidi. At some point, I was watching the movie they were showing in your house, in your living room or so. So please, madam, kindly turn it off next time so it doesn't distract us. Now, I noticed that the Toastmaster of the day was made the speech evaluator. Let me tell you something from my own experience. Toastmaster of the day is one of the most difficult tasks to handle in a Toastmasters meeting because you have to think on your feet, you have to do things. So when the table topics master, when the Toastmaster of the day is also the evaluator of a speech, you rob he or she of the time to think ahead of what to say after that speech, how to plan ahead. So I would recommend that you assign that role to someone else. I understand that we have a few role players and we need to just maximize and be resourceful. However, let's try as much as possible to maximize our potential and not just spread ourselves thin. Now, one of the timers' job exceeds just the table topics, the prepared speeches. I've noticed that most often the timers are always just focusing on the prepared speeches, the table topic. If you look at the agenda, you see that every part of the meeting is timed, especially the evaluators. Now, I noticed during the evaluation, you weren't timing them. You're even supposed to be timing me. So every part of it, you must ensure that your green card is on, your yellow card, to ensure that we finish on time. There's a lot to say because this is a new club. However, I believe that as time goes on, we will improve. I also want to state something that's in the agenda. Let us try as much as possible to include surnames. Don't just say Toastmaster Chidi, Toastmaster. You could have 2 Toastmaster Chidis. You could have 2 Toastmaster Toastins. So it makes it easier. Finally, despite the fact that our guest trainer didn't speak up to the allotted time he intended to speak for, we're still about 5 minutes late. So the Toastmasters master had to include more speeches, but now we're running late. So let's try as much as possible to manage time. But all in all, we've done well. During the introduction session where guests had to introduce themselves, some of them were already saying that they love the meeting, they want to be part of the meeting, they want to be part of Learntor Toastmasters. That's the feedback that we've done well. So I must give it up for Learntor Toastmasters, everyone that's played a role today. Thank you very much. And this is the end of my general evaluation. Over to you, Toastmaster Chidi, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you most graciously, Toastmaster Tosin, for that very detailed evaluation. Remember I said that every aspect of a Toastmasters meeting gets evaluated, and we have just gone through the evaluation. Special thanks to everyone who stayed with us from the start of today's meeting to the end. All the role players, you have been amazing. Remember, to grow, you first have to spring. You actually have to be in existence for you to be able to grow. And when you are faced with challenges, let me leave you with this quote that has traveled through ages. It said that when you face an obstacle or challenge, you can either go over it, go around it, smash through it, but by all means, just keep moving. Don't stop because there's an obstacle in front of you. Smash that obstacle and use it as a building block or your staircase to excellence, your staircase to glory. It's been my pleasure to serve as the Toastmaster of today, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve. I will now hand control of the virtual lectern back to Madam President. Toastmaster Oluwatoyin, you have the virtual lectern. Thank you so much, everyone. Signing out as the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very kindly, Toastmaster Chidi. It's always a delight to have you be the Toastmaster of the day at any meeting. It's always an honor. I feel like there is a timetable by all clubs to have you come serve as their Toastmaster of the day, because it's always a delight to watch you and have you champion the meeting. Thank you once again for doing justice to our meeting today. I'd like to say a very big thank you to everyone who attended today's meeting. It's been a copious time of learning. Yes, this still counts, please. I'm still using the word of the day. And we have all learned a great deal as to why we need to join Learntor Toastmasters Club. Trust me, I was not always this confident in speaking. In fact, I remember a particular club I went to after I became a Toastmaster to deliver my icebreaker speech. The icebreaker speech is the first speech you would deliver once you become a full member of the club. I blanked out. It was Surulere Toastmasters Club. My mentor advised that I deliver the speech at another club. I got on stage and I blanked out and I spoke. I couldn't wait to get off the stage. So I spoke for less than the time allotted, and I was disqualified. I was disappointed. However, it was a great learning point for me. It showed that there was much work that needed to be done. And what you see here today is a product of work that has gone in based on the Pathway program. The Pathway program is an amazing tool that everyone who is onboarded will learn a great deal from. I would love to see all of our guests become members as soon as possible. We have just dropped a link to our WhatsApp chat group for intending members. Please, if you're not already part of the group, I know a couple of us today came here from the group. So if you're not already part of the WhatsApp group for intended members, please click the link and join. We would be giving more information on how to become a full member. And our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Tosin Imogeme, who also served as the general evaluator of today's meeting, would be happy to hold your hands and help you become members. Let me tell you what my mentor told me the first day I ever walked into a Toastmasters club. It wasn't my mentor then. He looked at me and said, "You need to join this week before this fire dies." And I agreed with him. I joined that week, and there has been no going back ever since. I would like to say thank you also to all role players. You did amazing. Seeing that it's the first time for some of you, you took the bull by the horn, you hit the nail on the head, and you did a great job. Thank you for stepping up and showing up. It's a great, great progress, if you'd ask me. And I know that I can go on and on saying how much I love you and how much I am thrilled by you, but that would only mean that we would stay here longer. So please, let's try as much as possible to join the WhatsApp group. And also, Toastmaster Tosin, please leave you. Okay, they've left all their numbers. You could chat them privately. These are the numbers of the Vice President's membership and his assistants, Toastmaster Chinyere and Toastmaster Gladys. Please pick the numbers from the chat box and try as much as possible. We would also need volunteers for the next meeting. Our next meeting is the third Sunday, which is 21st, if you'd ask me. It's a special day because it's a day to my birthday. So please come, if possible, we'll share a virtual cake. So let's be available for the next meeting. If you would like to volunteer to play a role for the next meeting, please reach out to any of us through our WhatsApp group, and we'll be pleased to have you play a role. We'll be pleased to have you play a role. Thank you once again for being a part of Learntor Toastmasters meeting. We apologize for the overshooting time, and we hope to see you third Sunday, 21st of March by 3 p.m. Have a wonderful week.
The meeting
Bye-bye.
is actually over. I just want to give recognition to some of you that came. Rosemary, thank you for showing up. Philip, the meeting is officially ended. I want to applaud you, Josephine. Your first time ever taking a role. You only get better. You can't do what you've done today again. You can only improve on it. That's one thing that Toastmaster does for you. So I want to recognize that. I want to say thank you, Sharon Shayo. You were phenomenal. Your first time taking, I'm not even taking the balls to do table topics. So a total acknowledgement. And I want to say sincere thank you to Toastmaster of the Day, our area director, from my heart. And to all of my Learntor cohorts that are now Learntor Toastmasters, respect to you guys, all of you. this is the total package. It now comes together. Like you said, Scott's teaching, soft skill, this is where you get it. This is where you get it, no other place. Learntor takes you digital as a business, but this is where you get the soft skill that can help you skyrocket.
Toastmaster Mercy, is it possible for us to have a group picture before we leave?
I've taken a screenshot already.
Oh, you have? Okay, awesome. So we'll be sharing the pictures on our WhatsApp group. I hope you can identify yourself and say, yes, I was there at Learntor Toastmasters meeting. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful week and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.